Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I understand you, but I want people to come.
Okay.
Were you the one that asked question about hosting in the server?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just wait, let them come. I understand your question now. Can we start? Hello,
Yes,
guys.
we
Yes,
can.
All right.
we can.
So yes. So Emmanuel was asking that what was that your question again, please? Sorry.
About if this site were, let's say this site we're making, we're designing now, if it was being hosted on a server, the link now you just attach to that title, would that be like a link to maybe where something is stored in the server, or like how what we did earlier was just linking it to our computers and maybe pulling the image from our computers, like how you went to a different
Yes.
site.
So now, yeah, I understand you now. I understand you. When you host this your website, a server, in the first instance, this type of website is called static website. This is not a web app where interactivity happens, like you go on Facebook, you chat, you comment, you like, share pictures and all of that stuff, videos. And to the extent that you can do a conference video call or voice call, that is not, this one is not that type. This at this level is just informational. Just scroll through and all. This is just static, right? When you host this, this type of link that you are seeing, that we are clicking on this American Bully, right, is called internal link, right? It's going to recognize it as a hyper internal link. So whoever visits your site, this is your own link to this image. And if it is a link to a page that probably you're fetching information from with a partnership that you have, is still an internal hyperlink. So if I understand you perfectly, this will not be considered as your URL, which is the domain name. And this will not interrupt it either. Because by the time you have your domain name and you upload all of these beautiful codes on your own space, the hosting space given to you, right? At that time, your domain name becomes very, very dedicated. Do you understand? And it's not going to
Yes.
interrupt any internal links that you have. Yes, of course, for the process of auditing, like web auditing, web analytics, it may have a conflict of hyper error. And you'll be written a note to for you to checkmate your code and see how you could dry run and identify where this error is coming from, and you get it fixed locally and you re-upload again. So if I understand your question perfectly, I think this should be the response to it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other question before we move on to the real deal? Real deal is real deal. So one thing in this space, this
Sorry,
industry.
sir.
Okay, yeah, good evening, Dr. Clems.
Sir, the question I want to ask now, So just as you rightly said, if you have linked any of this picture, it means it will be highlighted with this blue
Exactly. This
icon.
blue, if it is not visited. But if it is visited
Okay.
and what you try to visit is seen, then it's going to change
Yeah.
to purple. But then
Okay.
you can customize this. You can customize, these are default colors. You can customize visit color and hyperlink color. You can customize them to your favorite color.
Okay.
Yes. So these are default colors for hyperlink.
So, and like the nav bar,
Yes.
if there is
I'll give
nav
you
bar
the-
and if there is footer, which one will
Yes.
be the header?
The header is a nav bar. That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that time now is not the head, it's called the header. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Question, please. Question, please. You have a question? Any question? You have a question? I wish I even have about 4 to 5 of these breeds in my house. I will see how insecurity will come close. Okay. Now we can go back to our slides. The methodology of this class is always trying to do recap all of that. We have done it, and that will give it a call to end of HTML and JavaScript. So one thing that you should know, no matter how beautiful I present those technologies to you, how explanatory it could sound, using local, national, and international concepts, if you don't research further to apply it, for you to see it on your machine, forget about it. It's just going to be like you going to a driving school when they teach you and you don't practice it. Do you understand this? So you are going to be in that school forever. And having said this, CSS like HTML has a lot of stuff to it. It is very impossible to memorize them all. So what we do, we understand it. And the little understanding, we keep applying them till we master that art, then we move up. When you master any particular one, you move. You move, you know the next one, you bring it back to see how you could, bring both of them together and use them and apply them to see how two of them coming together, how the result could be. So one thing that we like to use here is communities or forums. Like there is open source communities, MDN, you see a lot of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There is another one called CSS Tricks. You're going to see beautiful animations. And you'll be like, oh, but this man did not teach us this. No, I did. Right? All credits to me. And for wherever you're going to be sourcing your materials from, which a lot is going to be coming. But the thing is, if I start giving everything now, you'll be so confused because over research sometimes could make you not achieve a lot. Another one called Stack Overflow. This is like community of programmers where programmers go contribute to community and people ask questions, you respond to it if you know it, and they give you, they score you, you know, some, if the response is very accurate, they just give you, and people started voting it and all of that stuff. Same as GitHub, can create GitHub account, all of that we'll see as we are going on with this program or outside this program. And, you know, you will see how we could, you know, partner in future to see, you know, how you will know it better. And now, maybe some of you would want to think of switching careers. Maybe your pay, where you are currently, is meager. You would want to think of, you know, Japa. You know, me too, I want to Japa, because the country is tough for everybody.
Yeah. Everybody, sir.
You want to Japa, you Japa with excuse. Because before they go, they use your polo where you come out with for Nigeria, go turn and to cleaner there. Yeah, so you jackpot with the skills so that you earn good money when you get there. All right, and that brings us to a very, very fundamental topic and technology. It's a topic, it's also a technology, a very, very useful one for that matter. Most popular programming language. At first, it was called scripting language, but it has gained so much popularity and recognition to the level that people see it as a generic programming language. In fact, they removed the word JavaScript because this is the only programming language that every other programming languages, they inherit some things from here. In as much as the bulk of research for programming languages, they are all sitting at the archive of C++. This guy has a long way contributed to the programming languages community. So JavaScript, JavaScript, JavaScript. You open your computer, JavaScript, 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 chunks of it, you know, it's used for a lot of stuff, for web development, for game development, you know, in the field of AI. And there is a lot of things to do. You can use it to write API, application program interface. You can use it to write algorithms, you know, a set of programs in which, you know, we put together to achieve a goal. So this is what, this is the beginner level. If you want to be a programmer, you must start from here. If you go start from Python, you'll be thinking like they're just punishing you. They put you in the middle and then they left you there. You know, it's going to be difficult. So JavaScript, which is functionality. You know, this is where functionalities begins. I was going through our our mission and I saw it about Coding Towers. That is a company that I'm operating from. And I saw mastering begins here. Functionality begins from JavaScript, not Java. This is not Java. This is a different thing. Java is a high language programming language. It's a different programming language. JavaScript is not Java, right? So, for example, you are a writer. You write in Idoma language. I'm an Idoma, so people don't take it personal. You write in an Idoma language. You don't understand French. People in the French world, your book mistakenly got to them. And they started developing interest in studying, in reading it. But unfortunately for them, they don't understand Idoma. Unfortunately for you, the writer either. You don't understand French. And you as a business person, other than from being a writer, you could think of business outside this case study. So now, what do you think you need in this case? Who do you think? You need an interpreter. Someone that will understand the Idoma language and French language. People, that is just a definition of a programming language. Machine, that you know, computer, does not understand any other language than machine language. And you, for the last time I checked, there is no human being on earth that understands machine language either, other than go learn a programming language and use it before you communicate with a machine. Because the language of the computer that we mean machine language is zeros and one, where one is true and zero is false. This has been built into simple circuits. We have electronics in this house. You know, it used to be those days when you want to switch your light, you're going to see 0 and you see 1. When you press it down to the 1, you see light on when there is NEPA light, or when the gen is on. When you press it to 0, then if the light was on, it's going to turn it off. That means 0 is false and 1 is true. Ladies and gentlemen, JavaScript, what it does, it helps you communicate better to the computer. It helps the computer execute that commands, beautiful commands that you've written in front of you. The same way we've written those codes of HTML and CSS right now. Imagine submitting it to the computer and the computer does not understand it. But with the help of the language, it will help compile, assemble, and interpret it. And from there, communication between the computer and the human being who is sitting in front of the computer will be established. And from there, they will build on to give it to the light of what we refer to as object-oriented. And from there, applications started coming out. Websites started coming out. AI started coming out, and all of that. So, having given you this little brief about JavaScript, do you think is a topic of interest? People, I need 5 votes, real quick. 1, 2, I'm counting. 3. Hello, are they here? Singing?
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Topic of interest now.
So, but unfortunate thing is, the total program is just 6 weeks. We're looking and we are praying every day to see how, if they could extend it for us, maybe make it 8 weeks or 10 weeks, who knows? Maybe the rest of the 8 weeks, or what will make it 8 weeks or 10 weeks, they could say that we should just use it for mentorship and internship. We don't know, or even job placement. So don't take this for granted. You pay attention and you learn from it. Let me give you a very fundamental principles of programming. I mean, generic programming. I'm not calling any name this time. Just give me a location that you are very used to. And I mean, maybe like, has anybody here traveled from Abuja through Benin or Lagos Road to Lagos? Anybody? And if you have not, is anybody in this house that have traveled from Abuja to Kano, or Abuja to Sokoto, or Abuja to Ibadan, or Abuja to Benue? I need you to give me from point A to point B in terms of geography, so that I will bring this case study in, and I will give you a very good understanding on how we could begin with this JavaScript. Please, I need you to tell me. Anybody? Somebody is writing on the chat. Okay. Abuja to Lagos.
Abuja to Bauchi.
Abuja to Bauchi. Okay. Abuja to Bauchi. Somebody posted Abuja to Lagos. I think that would be more familiar to some of us than Abuja. The other person say Abuja to Tukbu. Maybe a lot of people may not know about what is on the way, right? So let's go with Abuja to Lagos, right? It's like crossing the whole from north to the west. And in as much as you are doing this, you pass through some of the middle belt states and to some of the eastern states, if you want. So from Abuja to Lagos, somebody sitting in Abuja and another person sitting in Lagos. The one in Lagos, the one in Abuja, call the one in Lagos. Yo, I just got to Abuja. I need a description because this is the one sitting in Lagos. This is his route, constant route, perpetual route, a route that he goes through every week. So it's expected of him to at least, get conversant with the geography or the terrain of the route from Abuja to Lagos. This guy in Abuja put a call through. Please, sir, can you kindly give me a description of how I'm going to go from Abuja to Lagos? I'm driving. I just landed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. I just came in from New York. I need a description. For example, a foreigner. And then the description is like this. Hitting to the airport, right? Drive 200 kilometers, turn right, turning right to Abuja, Benin or Lagos Road to or Benin or Lagos Road through where is this place that they have the university? Gwagwalada. 200 miles. You are counting 200 miles. You keep driving. Very simple description. On getting there, drive 300 kilometers to Lokoja on a straight road. To Lokoja, no stopover. Keep driving. Drive 110 kilometers to Ore. You turn right. You drive 60 kilometers. You turn left to Ogbese. You drive 86 kilometers. On the T junction, you turn left to Akure. Are you getting all of this? Following this all the way to Shagam. On the bridge there, turn left and drive 42 kilometers to Odolemo. You turn left. You drive 62 kilometers to Ekpe. On the roundabout, turn right. Drive straight to Aja. And maybe the person is living in Lekki. Drive another 22 kilometers, passing through a toll gate and getting to Lekki first gate. You see this simple, specific, individualistic description that has directed this man accurately to this location. This could take somebody a whole week without getting there. A whole week. That is, if the description is not being specific, not simple, not very, very distinct, the person will not get there. Or if the instruction is given accurately and the person did not follow it, the person means it will still crash, to not get there. And this concept, bringing to the computer, irrespective of how good you are in mastering any programming language, if your commands are not very accurate, not very simple, specific, individualistic, the same way your system will crash to the wall. The computer will never respond to that beautiful code. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody here. But if it doesn't, then unfortunately, I wouldn't know how I'll present it better. Hello, people. Are you here?
Hi.
I,
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we are saying is, you might have heard of the word garbage in, garbage out. Give me
Yes.
what I give you. The old man will say, give me what I give you. Like a popular blacksmither in my village, giving a gun to his friend to go hunt, and by chance, the guy killed an elephant. At the time that he gave him this gun, he is educated, but that his friend is not. So he wrote something down, and he got that his friend, where there's supposed to be signature, to write his name. Unknowingly, this man did not know that he has established a contract that for whatever use he's going to kill, we will share it together. And this man, for not knowing how to read and write, but verbally, it has been translated to him and he agreed. But at this time now that he has killed the elephant, the whole villagers were against the blacksmither. And he went in, brought this letter, this contract, showing everybody. Please, so if you know how to read and write, help us read this thing. Mr. A, B, C, D will read. And they will say, please agree by who and who. Say, agree by Mr. A and B. And bringing it to the table to share equally, then this hunter now said, sir, I know that I wrote my name there, and I know he translated them to me, but don't you people think that it will be fair if I have a bigger share than this man? And that is a talk for another day. Programmatically, don't think that everything will be given to you by the instructor. Maybe for whatever I'll be saying,
Very correct.
for whatever I'll be saying, it will be just 25%. To some people, it sounds like a song from the very beautiful voice of Dunamis. Or maybe to some people, it could sound like someone who is ready to swallow egusi and pounded yam together. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. But this course, as I unveil them to you in my very best, I believe you will never regret joining this class. And for the people of the house, say amen.
Amen.
Now I know that you are Christians. Okay. How is GS different from HTML? GS is JavaScript, right? And all the file we're going to be creating in JavaScript is .gs, .js, 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 .js. The same way you've been doing .html, .css, right? This one is, the external files is .js. HTML tell your browser how a web is going to look. CSS tell your browser how the color, the styling, the presentation is going to look. But JavaScript interprets to the browser by telling the browser what exactly to do. And in that regards, is translated, is interpreted into functionalities. For example, you see a beautiful button that says on it, click me. And when you click on it, you are going to be so disappointed when it's looking at you and it's not clickable or it's not active. But when you click on it, maybe it links you to Central Bank of Nigeria, transfer 100 million. In as much as that language sounds like someone who just finished smoking Igbo, and I can tell you a miracle can come in when you perfect and master this art of programming. There's a lot of opportunities here. So what is it used for? It's used for anything from creating a pop-up when a user click on something to full-fledged games, anything clickable. That is the job of a JavaScript. And you clicking means you are inquisitive. You want to know. And if you remember, we say something about getter and setter. When we say get is a request, while setter is a response. If you remember from our getter and setter, that respond and that request and respond, that HTTP request and respond that we did. And this is the time that you're going to be seeing, because most of the things that happen here, these dynamic effects, dynamic functionalities, they're all coming from the response are coming from the server side, right? Unlike the HTML and the CSS, which like apparently handles the things of the client side. This handles more of the server side, right? So in JavaScript, there is something we call statement. And this statement, you're going to look at it as the English sentence. The sentence that you know in English language. You're going to see this statement like that. Because in here, the same way you have a noun, an adjective, and a verb in an English sentence, and I'm not saying that that is the only thing that you have in an English sentence. So also, you have a noun, an adjective, and a verb in this statement. So tell me, does it not sound or look like an English statement? I mean sentence? So, for example, each line in a JavaScript is an instructions. And by virtue of execution, it handles it from top to bottom, right? From top to bottom. Engineer, you're welcome, sir. From top to bottom. So,
thank you.
And the only way that it will jump it is when there is going to be something called comments. I will teach you what we refer to as comments. I'm supposed to have shown you the very basic comments in HTML and CSS though, but it's not too late, right? Over here is from top to bottom. That is how the code is being run. So when the browser reads it, it will cross-check it to see whether it follows what we call execution principles. And these execution principles consider two things. One is called a local variable and a global variable. So inside it, behind the scene, this principle of execution must be followed in as much as your codes are very beautiful. If they are not followed, you're going to be highly disappointed in the execution results, right? So it executes a line of code from top to bottom. Like you can see here. Can you see very well? If you can see very well, you see console.log hello in a programmatic pattern. These ordinances is what we use here. This is not HTML. This is not CSS, and this is not Java. This is JavaScript. And like technology has its rules, this one too has its rules. Console means print. The log here is the action word. You say, console, print. Where are you printing from? From the log. The log here is a document. And when you go into the log, what I want you to fish out is hello. That is the meaning of this. And the pattern here is, if you see, this double quote means it's a string. What we refer to as string programmatically, anything text. A text is a string. Anything that has to do with text. Time will come, you begin to see int, which is integer, a whole number. Some of you, your background is mathematics. Some of you, your background is computer science. Some of you, your background is statistics and all of that, and even physics. And you're going to see another set of number that has to do with decimal. We refer to it here as float. You're going to see them. And you're going to see complex number. You're going to see non-type. You're going to see several data types and booleans, which is the one that I explained to you earlier, has to do with true and false, which is zeros and one, right? Yes, Dr. Clems, were you going to say something, sir?
No, I wanted to say Boolean.
Yeah, Booleans, exactly. All right. So we told you something. We wrote a small thing, console.log hello. The hello is in bracket, is in quotes, and you end there with a semicolon. So let's just try to explain to you what this means. This is the very basic rules that it must be followed. Like semicolons, what is the thing? Why is it semicolon, right? This is a full stop in your sentence. Do you remember I told you that JavaScript statement, you're going to look at it the same as English sentence. When you finish your sentence in English, what happened? There is a full stop. And this does not mean that it is a full stop that qualified
Very important.
the authenticity of your English sentence. Apart from the full stop, there are other things, ingredients that are supposed to be there for the sentence to be completed, right? So also here, it doesn't mean that because you know there is a semicolon on the JavaScript statement, you just say semicolon. After all, there's a semicolon there. You're going to be disappointed because the code, if due process is not followed, it's going to look at you. So think of a JavaScript statement as a sentence, which I said before, and a semicolon as a period, which is full stop. All right. When I started, I made mention of something called comments. These comments, you're going to see it as English report. Like what we do here with this comment is a report about what we are about to do or what we have done. So it's a thing of either come first before you start writing the code or come below the code. So justify or a better understanding of this is what we have done in case this is for human resource department. In case the